evening. It's 6 o'clock on Tuesday, June 20th, 2017. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of OR News, where we bring you today's top stories, translated into English every weeknight. The IPR Marketing and OR News publicized the results of the fourth poll for June 25th elections. According to the poll, if elections were to be held today, the Socialist Party would take the lead in the cities of Vlora, Korcha, and Tirana. The Democratic Party would be second, whilst the Socialist Movement for Integration would be third. Calculated by the number of seats in Parliament, according to the poll, the Socialist Party would receive 30 seats in Parliament in these three cities. The Democratic Party would receive 19 seats, and the Socialist Movement for Integration would receive 7 seats, and the Labour Party would receive only 1. Nationally, the Socialist Party would receive 48% of votes, the Democratic Party 34%, the Socialist Movement for Integration 13% of votes, and the Labour Party 2.3%, with the Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity would receive 1.8%. If elections were to be held today, the Socialist Party would receive 56% of votes in Vlora, which would be 8 seats in Parliament, considered to be a record number so far. According to the poll, the Socialist Party would increase by 10% of votes compared to the 2013 elections. The Democratic Party would receive 19% of votes in Vlora, which would be 2 seats in Parliament. According to the poll, the Democratic Party has persevered at the same level as votes in 2013. The Socialist Movement for Integration has increased its votes in Vlora, receiving 14%, which are 2 seats in Parliament. Meanwhile, the Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity would receive 5% of votes in Vlora, and the Labour Party would receive 2% of votes in Vlora, which does not give either a seat in Parliament. In the city of Korcha, the Socialist Party takes the lead with 47% of votes, which are 6 seats in Parliament, just the same as in 2013. The Democratic Party would receive 33% of votes, which are 4 seats in Parliament. The Socialist Movement for Integration would receive 15% of votes, which are only 1 seat in Parliament. Meanwhile, the Labour Party would receive 2.9% of votes without making to take a seat in Parliament. In the capital, Tehran, the Socialist Party has an increase of votes with 3% compared to the first poll. The Socialist Party would receive 44% of votes in Tirana, which are 16 seats in Parliament. The Democratic Party has also a slight increase by 1%, going to 34% of votes, which are 13 seats in Parliament. The Socialist Movement for Integration would receive 12% of votes, 2% less than in the first poll, which are 4 seats in Parliament. The Labour Party would receive 4% of votes in Tehran, which are a seat in Parliament. The Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity would receive 2.5% of votes in the capital. According to the poll, 55% of Albanian citizens have said they will vote on June 25th, while 34% declared they will not vote. 10% of citizens have not yet made a decision whether they will vote or not. When citizens were asked what kind of prime minister they would prefer, 56.7% said they wanted a provisional minister with experience in economy and not a politician. 27.5% of citizens have said they wanted a prime minister from politics, and 15.8% have said, "I don't know." After the publication of 4 polls, IPR Marketing and OR News will publicize the exit poll on June 25th, just after the electoral process is closed. The Electoral College has decided to accept the request of the Socialist Movement for Integration to give it the opportunity to propose the third vote counter in the counting teams. The Electoral College also decided to give the Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity to the Republican Party the opportunity to propose the fourth vote counter. The SMI's legal representative, Uli Magnani, declared that the Electoral College's decision brought the process to normalcy. Meanwhile, the opposition representatives considered the decision to be absurd and a decision which violates political equality in the vote counting process. The Electoral College said that the Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity would be determined as a party of the opposition, referring to 2013 elections when this party was running together with the Democratic Party. But the representative of the Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity told the Electoral College that the PJIU is now a part of the majority. According to the decision of the Electoral College, a member from the Democratic Party, one from the Socialist Party, one from the Socialist Movement for Integration, and one proposed by the Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity and the Republican Party will be in the vote counting team. The Socialist Movement for Integration has filed a lawsuit against Prime Minister Rama after the Prime Minister's call to state police to gather votes for the Socialist Party. In its lawsuit, the SMI says that the Prime Minister's call violates the law and the Constitution. According to the Socialist Movement for Integration, the Prime Minister's call shows that he has committed elements of criminal offense and that an objective investigation is needed. In the statement issued to the media, the SMI asks for the beginning of a criminal proceeding and an unbiased investigation of the case. Meanwhile, the former ally of the Prime Minister, Ilir Mehta, considers a medical control of the Prime Minister to be necessary in order to verify whether he is mentally capable to do his duty. According to the Socialist Movement for Integration, the Prime Minister's call shows that the Prime Minister is in an unstable mental condition. The Socialist Movement for Integration claims that the psychological shock the Prime Minister is going through after the increased popular support for the SMI. The SMI is also asking from the President to gather the National Council of Security in order to analyze the illegal action of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister and Chairman of the Socialist Party, Rama, held an electoral meeting in Paskuqan today where he spoke of the cracking of the coalition with the Socialist Movement for Integration. According to the Prime Minister, it happened because of the judicial reform, adding that none of the parties wanted the reform. The Prime Minister invited the Socialists and Democrats to believe in the Socialist Party's power to build a state. The Prime Minister asked for the citizens' votes for the Socialist Party so as not to be hostages of the coalitions, stating, "We are asking for more power in order not to be in other people's hands. The system should end. We should do a revolution on June 25th. The Prime Minister put emphasis on the economy, promising a 5% increase. "We will increase the country's economy to 5% in the coming 4 years. We think to increase the economy and employment in a stable way," said the Prime Minister, considering the promises of his opponents to be lies and having nothing to do with the development. The Democratic Party chairman, Basha, closed the electoral campaign in the city of Kavaje today. During his speech, the DP chairman accused the Prime Minister of thinking only of himself and of enriching the criminals. The DP chairman added that the last locomotive of the Old Republic's train will be removed on June 25th in order to build a new train only for the Albanian people, with no place for the incriminated, declaring, "Rama is feeling that the big union is unbreakable. He is making all his effort to join the train of the New Republic as the last locomotive, but there is no place for crime, corruption, and high taxes. In the train of the New Republic, there is only a place for honest citizens, despite their political convictions. People are looking forward to punishing the government for their failures with their vote. Not only Democrats, but also the Socialists are fed up with this Prime Minister." At the end, the DP chairman added that the Prime Minister bought criminals in state offices, increased taxes, and abandoned the poor and built facades. The DP chairman said that the citizens will decide on Sunday whether they want to continue with facades for 4 more years or whether they will vote for a better economy and a safer future. The former chairman of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Ilir Mehta, was in an electoral meeting in Shiyak, where he spoke of the SMI's economic program. According to Mehta, an economy cannot increase without reducing costs for businesses, saying, "Economy cannot develop in a country with so many problems if we do not reduce taxes. Economy cannot increase without formalizing it and without reducing business costs. The SMI's program for the reduction of taxes is also a program that will open 170,000 jobs, and 100,000 of them will be for the youth." Meanwhile, the SMI's candidate in Durrës, Lefter Koka, declared that the SMI is the party that will solve the citizens' problems. The Central Election Commission has started the distribution of the materials for the June 25th elections. The CEC chairwoman declared in a media outlet that the Central Election Commission has taken all the necessary measures for parliamentary elections and also for the local elections for Kavaje's mayor, declaring, "The Central Election Commission has made all the necessary preparations to establish electoral materials for the June 25th elections. With the arrival of the voting papers arrived on Saturday, June 17th, at the Central Election Commission, we worked to prepare the logistic electoral materials, such as the voting ballots, the electoral materials, the seals that will be used by the commissions, security seals, etc. Today, we started with the distribution of electoral materials in the commissions of the areas of electoral administration in Kukas, Korcha, Dieber, Shkoder, Berat, and Fier. On Wednesday, the electoral materials will be distributed in Liège, Elbasan, Durrës, and Tehran. The CEC chairwoman called on the members of 90 commissions of the areas of electoral administration to take the necessary measures and be ready to receive the electoral materials. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Cosmo K, and on behalf of OR News, thank you and good night.